You are programmed, and I know you have heard it a whole bunch of times. And everybody talks about how you need to deprogram yourself and how to escape the matrix, but nobody talks about how to even recognize your program. So by the end of this video, you will not only learn how to recognize your program, but also how to deprogram yourself without external aid. In order for you to discover your programming, you first need to understand what is the origin of the programming, right? Usually it comes when you accept information unconsciously without applying your framework of truth to it. So basically, when you are a little child and you watch your parents arguing, you unconsciously agree that this is how partnership should look. But also, when you unconsciously watch the news and you see two reporters argue with each other, then you unconsciously assume that this is how you communicate with individuals. Same go if you doom scrolling on Instagram and you see a toxic man argue with a toxic woman, and you assume that this is how friendship is all about, right? So that means that every time you experience something, you unconsciously accept information that you may not able to consciously access at time of consumption. And this is key because the way you reprogram yourself is to discover consciously what are the unconscious information you intake via your emotions. But in order for you to even recognize what are your programs, you first need to develop relationship with your emotions. And this is the most difficult part for a human being, to move from purely analytical, egocentric thinking into more intuitive, emotional way of being. But if you will follow these 3 easy steps, then you are 99.99999 better than the rest of humanity. Step number 1, give yourself time to sit down with yourself and observe your emotions. You can do it in meditation. I just stare at the walls, right? Everybody can do whatever he wants to do as long as you stay still and you observe your emotions. 2, consciously discover what your mind is generating when a specific shade of emotion arises in you. So basically, you feel something, then your mind generate a thought, an idea, a vision. See what emotion you feel, what is the shade of the emotion, what the emotion is saying, right? And then see what your mind is generating. 3, give that shade of emotion a new story in your mind. Once you are able to recognize what your mind generates whenever that shade of emotion is felt, then you successfully have discovered what is your programming. And then all you have to do is constantly, like you go into the gym, constantly change the story you tell in your mind in relationship to that emotion. Not to brainwash yourself, it's to search information that will allow the old narrative to be so ridiculous that a new one will have to occur.